Alright, so this is our video for section 6-3, and we're talking about multiplying polynomials here. So in lots of algebra classes, what oftentimes you learn is how to FOIL polynomials. I personally don't love FOIL, so I use the box method, and the way we determine the size of the box we need would be by the size of the polynomials that we have. And so we'll set up boxes with dimensions of the same number of terms of the polynomials that we have, and then we'll multiply and combine like terms. So I'm going to kind of skip around with some of these examples here, and I'll do some of them. This first one, we don't actually need a box. All we're doing is distributing this term into this set of parentheses. So -4 times 3 is -12. X times x is x squared, and then y squared. Then a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 5 is 20. X, and then y squared times y gives me y cubed. And so that would be the answer for this multiplication here. Now the next example, we have this -2x that's being distributed onto this set of parentheses, and then this x will combine like terms with what we have here. So I can bring that x down. -2x times x is -2x squared. -2x times -3 is positive 6x. And then it's a matter of combining like terms. X plus 6x is 7x minus 2x squared. Now the next example, it looks like it's significantly more complicated, but it's actually not. This -2x cubed is still just one term. And even though it's on the end, it's still just being distributed to each of these terms. So -2 times 6 is -12. X to the 4th times x cubed is x to the 7th. -2 and -5 is positive 10. X squared and x cubed is x to the 5th. And then -2 and -3 is positive 6x cubed. And that's our answer for that one. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next page. And we're going to look at some that will continue to get increasingly more involved. And here we have multiple sets of grouping symbols. We have brackets, and inside of that we have parentheses. So we want to start with the inside most part of this problem. And inside these parentheses, I have 3x minus 4. There's nothing inside the parentheses to simplify here, but I can distribute this to. So I have 3x squared minus x. Again, we're just bringing the rest of this down. -2 times 3x is -6x. -2 times -4 is positive 8. And inside those brackets now I can simplify what I have. And x minus 6x is -5x plus 8. And now I can distribute this x inside. 3x squared, again that just gets brought down. -x times -5x is positive 5x squared. -x times 8 is -8x. And now it's just combining like terms. 3x squared and 5x squared is 8x squared minus 8x. And that is our answer. So then the next one, we can go ahead and multiply. And this is where the process that I'm looking at here is going to change a little bit. What we want to do here is make a box based on how many terms are in each of these polynomials. So there's 2 terms here and 2 terms here. So I'm going to go ahead and make that box. And I'm just going to hold off in dealing with this -3 for now. So I have 7x minus 3y and 2x minus 9y. 2x times 7x is 14x squared. 7x and -9y is -63xy. 2x and -3y is -6xy. And then 27y squared. So what I can do here is combine like terms. And so 14x squared has no like terms. -6xy and -63xy gives me -69xy. And then 27 y squared. But remember, this whole thing is being multiplied by that negative 3. So I can go ahead and distribute that, and 3 times 14 is 42, so negative 42x squared, and then positive, and let's see, 3 times 69 is 207xy, and then negative 3 times 27 is negative 81y squared. And that's our answer. So we can do the same thing with the next one. We can use the box method again. And so it's 2 terms and 2 terms, so I'll use a 2 by 2 box. I have 5x squared minus 5y. 2x cubed minus y is 10x to the 5th, and negative 10x cubed y, and negative 5x squared y, and 5y squared. And looking at this, this problem here, I don't actually have any like terms. There's no other x to the 5ths anywhere. There's no other y squareds, and these two are not like terms, even though they look really similar. They do both have x's and y's, but this one has 2 x's, this one has 3. So none of these are like terms. Our answer then would just be 10x to the 5th minus 10x cubed y minus 5x squared y plus 5y squared. So moving on to the next page, we have now some larger polynomials that we're multiplying, but these are not any harder. I have 2 terms here and I have 3 terms here. So now my box is going to be a 2 by 3 box. And on the 2 side, I have 2a minus 3b. And then on the top, I have 5a squared minus 6ab plus 4b squared. And now I can multiply 10a cubed, negative 15a squared b, and negative 12a squared b, and 18ab squared, and 8ab squared, and then negative 12b cubed. And so we're just, again, combining like terms. There are no other a cubes, so I have 10a cubed. And then I have a squared b. So these are like terms. Negative 15 and negative 12 is negative 27a squared b, and we used both of those. And then 18, ab squared. So those are like terms as well. 18 and 8 is 26. And then this last one, there are no like terms with that. And so this is our final answer. Okay, now the next one is really similar, but instead of a 2 by 3, we have a 2 by 4. So my box is going to become a 2 by 4 box. And I always recommend spreading things out as much as you can so that things aren't all squished together. So I have 2x minus 5, and then I have 4x to the 4th minus 3x cubed minus 2x plus 9. And now I'm just multiplying. I have 8x to the 5th minus 20x to the 4th minus 6x to the 4th plus 15x cubed. And let's see here. We have minus 4x squared and 10x and 18x and negative 45. And so now we're looking for all of our like terms again. There are no other x to the 5ths, so I have 8x to the 5th. I have x to the 4th and x to the 4th, so that's negative 26x to the 4th. I have no other x cubes. Oftentimes here we see like terms here, but I actually don't have any other x cubes, so plus 15x cubed minus 4x squared. And then 10x and 18x is 28x minus 45. And that's my answer. Now the next one, we have a 3 by 3 multiplication that we're doing. So I'm going to do a 3 by 3 box. So I have x squared plus 2x minus 3 and x squared minus 5x plus 7. And I have x to the fourth minus 5x cubed and 7x squared and 2x cubed and negative 10x squared and 14x and minus 3x squared, 15x and negative 21. And now it's just a matter of combining like terms again. No other x to the fourths. X cubed and x cubed is negative 3x cubed. 7x squared, negative 10x squared, negative 3x squared is going to be 6x squared, negative 6x squared. (14) and 15 gives me 29x minus 21. And that's our answer. All right, on to the next page. We're going to do 4 more questions, and that'll wrap us up for this section. So in this example, now we're not just multiplying 2 of them, we're multiplying 3 of them. So we need to do this only 2 at a time. It doesn't matter if I start with these 2, or if I start with these 2, or if I take the outside ones. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to start with the first 2, and then I'll multiply that afterwards. So I'll do my little 2 by 2 box, 3a minus 5, 2a plus 1, 6a squared minus 10a minus 5, 3a, and I have 6a squared, 3a and negative 10a is negative 7a minus 5. And then I'm still multiplying by a minus 3. So now I need to do a 2 by 3 box for this multiplication. So 6a squared minus 7a minus 5 and a minus 3. 6a cubed and negative 18a squared, negative 7a squared, 21a, negative 5a, and 15. And so our final answer is 6a cubed. Negative 18a squared and negative 7a squared is negative 25a squared. 21a and negative 5a is 16a and plus 15. And that's our answer. So not much harder when we have 3 of them we're multiplying. It just means we have an extra step. The next one is just a 2 by 2. It's a pretty easy one that we're doing here. So 5xy minus 8 and 5xy plus 8. Now this is actually a special product. The reason why it's special is because the terms here are the same. The only difference is the sign in the middle. And you're going to see something kind of interesting happen here. So 5 times 5 is 25. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. Negative 8 times 5 is negative 40xy. 5 times 8 is 40xy. Negative 8, positive 8 is negative 64. So when we're combining like terms here, I have 25x squared y squared. And this positive 40xy and negative 40xy cancel each other out. They're gone. And then we have minus 64. And so this will happen anytime the terms are the same but the signs in the middle are opposite. These terms will end up canceling out. Now this next one we have 2x cubed minus 4y squared and then the whole thing being squared. And what we mean by this being squared is that we have 2x cubed minus 4y squared times itself. If I had 5 squared, that would mean 5 times 5. Well, having this thing squared means this times itself. 2x cubed minus 4y squared. So it's just doing a box. Now this is not the same as the one we were just doing because everything's identical. The signs are not opposite. The signs are the same. So filling out our little box here and combining like terms, we have 4x to the 6th. Negative 8x cubed y squared. Negative 8x cubed y squared is negative 16x cubed y squared. Plus 16y to the 4th. All right, now this last example looks kind of scary, but it's really not. What we have here is a shape that we're trying to find the volume of. Now, volume would be length times width times height, but the problem is we have these pieces here cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into two different shapes, and I'm going to find their volume separately. So I have this kind of teal shape that I'm looking at here, and maybe I'll color them in different colors here. So this kind of bluish shape here. Unfortunately, you can't see their labels that well anymore. And then I'm going to have this orange shape below, and I'm going to find their volumes separately and add them together. Now let's start with the orange one. The orange one, the length is 3x plus 4, and maybe I'll do this kind of in those colors. So we've got 3x plus 4 times x plus 6 times their height, which you can kind of see here, the label here says x. So the height is x. So that's the volume of the orange shape, and we're adding that with the volume of the blue shape. So the length here is the same length we see here, x plus 6. And we've got a height of x. And what's hard to figure out here is this piece right here. Maybe I'll do that in another color here. This purple length here that we don't know. So I know that this length right here is x, and I know this length right here is x, and I know the whole piece is 3x plus 4. So this purple piece then would be 3x plus 4 minus this x and minus this x. So that would be 3x minus x is just x plus 4. So that's the length of that piece there. So then finding the volume of that blue shape, we would also multiply by x plus 4. And so it's just a matter of doing some boxes now. So we have for this box here, 3x plus 4 and x plus 6, and that's 3x squared, 4x, 18x, and 24. So 3x squared plus 22x plus 24 times x. And then multiplying that out, we get 3x cubed plus 22x squared plus 24x. Now let's do the same for the blue one over here. I've got x plus 6 and x plus 4. X squared, 6x, 4x, 24. And so that's x squared plus 10x plus 24. And then we're multiplying by x. So that gives me x cubed plus 10x squared plus 24x. And then combining like terms, our final answer, we've got x cubed and 3x cubed. That's 4x cubed. I've got 22x squared and 10x squared. That's 32x squared. And I've got 24x and 24x gives me 48x. And that is our volume, and that brings us to the end of this section.